It's 12 noon here in Accra. This is Midday Live, and we're coming to you from the News Hub here inside Addis Ababa. My name is Nana Ikuya Mensah Bampa. Coming up this afternoon, the Special Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament investigating cash for seed saga to present its report today. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, now acting president as President Akufo-Addo, departs for Dakar, Senegal to attend the Global Partnership for Education Conference. And in international news, 90 migrants feared drowned after boat capsizes off Libyan coast. Right, so we have the detail of these as well as the latest in sports and entertainment all in the next 60 minutes. If you just joined us also on our social media platform, it's Facebook TV3 Ghana. Let's stay interactive. Let's go to our very first story from the floor of Parliament, where TV3 has gathered that there may be two reports from the Cash for Seed Committee. The two minority members on the committee may present their report on the committee's deliberations. And the Special Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament investigating the extortion allegations on the recently held Ghana Expatriates Business Awards will be presenting its report today. Now, the five-member committee was set up by the Speaker following a motion by MPs for Aswasi Muntaka Mubarak and South Dong Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa seeking a probe into the allegations that monies paid by guests to sit close to the president at the event.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation and the Trade and Industry Ministry have been at the center of the controversy over allegations of selling seats at an award ceremony for between $25,000 and $100,000 to some guests with the promise of allowing them sit close to the president. The Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, first made the extortion allegation in Parliament in December 2017. He said the fees charged at the Ghana Expatriate Business Awards, GEBA, were not approved by Parliament, adding that the money did not also reflect in the internally generated funds of the ministry's account. The Trade Ministry, in a statement, clarified it only facilitated the implementation of the initiative by the Millennium Excellence Foundation. The minority moved a motion in Parliament for a further probe into the matter, compelling the Speaker to recall MPs on recess, leading to the constitution of the committee. The presidency cleared the sector ministry of wrongdoing after the Trade Minister Alan Tremartin had responded to President Akufo-Addo's query. On January 11, 2018, the committee began its sitting. The minority MPs who filed and seconded the motion, Muntaka Mubarak and Okudzeto Ablakwa, appeared before the committee as witnesses. Both stood by the allegations. The Trades Ministry, led by the minister and his deputies, who also appeared before the committee as witnesses, affirmed they only facilitated the program. The chairman of the Millennium Excellence Foundation, Ambassador Victor Beho, leading a team of witnesses, denied expatriates were coerced to make payments with a promise of sitting close to the president at the awards. He said monies received by the foundation in connection with the awards were from voluntary sponsorship. On January 16, the expatriate businesses scheduled to appear before the committee failed to appear, and the probe was suspended indefinitely. However, on January 24, it emerged that the committee had an in-camera meeting with the expatriate businesses, who revealed that they were not coerced to pay any monies to sit close to President Akufo-Addo. The last witnesses to appear before the committee was the Controller and Accountant General. The committee is expected to present a report to the House, having determined whether there was any wrongdoing.
Why, so we remain in Parliament and we gather there may be two reports from the Cash for Seed Committee, and the two minority members on the committee may present their reports on the committee's deliberations. My colleague Catherine Frimpoma joins us from Parliament. Hello, Catherine. Good afternoon. Well, Catherine, if you're on the line, we would want you to confirm if the report has been presented to Parliament.
Good afternoon, Nana. The report has not yet been presented, but it's on the order paper as part of the businesses to be carried out today. But what is currently happening is that the Minister for Roads and Highways is in the House answering some questions, after which the report is the next item on the order paper to be carried out.
Now, from the information we gathered from you, we understand that there may be some 2 reports from the committee, one from the minority side. What have you gathered on that particular one so far?
Exactly, Nana. I think there has been some issues that has accounted to the report being able to be presented by this time, because it was actually supposed to be presented today, but information we gathered indicate that there were some misunderstandings, that the committee hasn't been able to come to a consensus as to the general report. And so, per the information I picked up this morning, a report will be laid by the chairman of the committee, who is from the majority side, as a representation of the committee's work. But there will also be another report by the 2 minority members on the 5-member committee. According to the minority, they were not given the chance to speak as they wanted during the deliberation period at the committee, and so they know that the majority would definitely have their way, but they would also not sit down to be prevented from having their say, and so they are bent on having their say through their own report to be laid in the House later today. I spoke to a member for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Nisuhini, who is from the minority side, and he is already punching holes into the yet-to-be-submitted report that, from what they know, that the report is exonerating the Trade Ministry from any wrongdoing, as has earlier been established by the presidential inquiry. But they think that that would be very wrong on the part of the committee, and that they maintain that what happened was not the best and the country should be moving away from that. But we can only wait to hear the report as will be presented by the chairman and hopefully by the minority to be able to draw our own conclusions also, Nana.
Right, we're grateful for that update. We would wait and see what happens with that one. But Catherine Frimpoma is my colleague, bringing us up to speed with happenings in Parliament. We understand the report is yet to be presented to Parliament, but we also gather there may be 2 reports from the Cash for Seed Committee. The 2 minority members on the committee may present their report on the committee's deliberations. Already they are punching holes into this report that is yet to be presented. We will be giving you more with that particular one. But let's move away. And Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia arrived home Thursday night after a 2-week medical leave. He is expected to begin official work on Monday, February 6.
The Vice President arrived in the company of his wife, Semira Bawumia. He was welcomed by the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, the Chief of Staff, Fremo Osei-Opare, the Senior Minister, Yosafu Mafo, and other government ministers and some party dignitaries. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who appeared elated, exchanged pleasantries with government functionaries. Minister of Information, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, was happy for his health and expressed worry over concerns that he had been struck by a stroke.
In the name of politics, I mean, people can wish people dead, people can wish that people were poisoned, or people can wish that people got strokes, and etc., etc. I found that rather very, very, very sad. But by and large, the end justifies the means. At the end of the day, the man has come back.
He again rejected claims that government erred in issuing a statement on the health status of the Vice President.
On the day that we put out that statement that he had fallen ill, he was supposed to meet with international visitors. There were engagements that he had in the public space, and etc., etc. I mean, really, the rules of decency require that you tell these people that, look, he's been unwell, and therefore he's not going to be able to perform those duties. So it was perfectly normal for us to do. Beyond that is what is not done. In other words, to have said that he's suffering of such and such an ailment, that one you don't qualify to say that.
Secretary to the Vice President, Dr. Gideon Boako, said Dr. Bawumia is expected to begin work on Monday.
President to be traveling tomorrow morning, and it is likely he may have to come and escort the president to the airport, and that may be deemed as part of the official work. But I think wholly Monday should be the official day for him to start work.
He also thanked Ghanaians for their prayers.
Me as a Christian, I accept all comments that come from people, and we believe that God is the ultimate decider on the health and the life of individuals.
Well, meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo today, February 2, left the country to lead the Ghanaian delegation to the 3rd International Conference on the replenishment of the funds of the Global Partnership for Education. And, well, we are still discussing the issue of the arrival of the Vice President, Dr. Andy Oforie-Kwan, as the Dean of Faculty of Foreign Languages Education and Communication of the University of Education, Winneba. Good afternoon to you, Doc. We are grateful for your time.
Good afternoon.
Now, the Vice President came back Thursday night. How will you describe the way his arrival was communicated?
Well, I think let me say good afternoon to your viewers. The way the arrival was communicated has to do with the way the health condition of the Vice President was communicated. You know, one of the things that we have to understand is the history of disclosing the health issues of the presidency. When I say president, I'm referring to the president and the vice president across the globe. Is an issue that borders on what the public wants to know and what media practitioners in particular want to know. Normally, opinion polls suggest that voters and the public always want to know what is happening to their president or their vice president relative to how they perform their duties. And once the disclosure of the vice president's trip to UK to seek medical attention was shrouded in some kind of inconsistency. You know, there wasn't initially clarity as to why he was going there, when he was going there, even though we knew that he was going to seek medical, where he was going in particular in terms of the particular medical center that he was going. Now, that has led to the issue of us talking about when he arrived. As far as I'm concerned, there are two issues here. The first is, if we want to have a disclosure on the condition, the health condition of the presidency, and I'm saying the presidency by president, I'm referring to the president and the vice president, then there are a few things that we should know. We should understand that the disclosure of the health conditions of presidency is not even across the globe. But there are a few conditions that must be specified. One, if you want to disclose any condition, any information on the health status of the vice president, they should meet 5 important elements or criteria.
So is that, Doc, if I may interact what you're saying, is that the best approach you would have suggested should have been taken from the time he took ill till his return to the country? These 5 points you're about to raise.
I'm taking you to. Now, first, if there's a disclosure, one, there are 4 elements. One, there should be accuracy. That is, whatever information that you are giving to us must be accurate relative to the health condition. 2, it must be complete. That is, all the information that you give us, there shouldn't be any inconsistency. It should have the fullness of the information, what he's suffering from, where he's going, what time he'll be there, how long he'll be there. That's the second one. Then the third one is that it should be timely. We don't have to wait and speculate about what is happening to him. Now, so that once you know that the vice president is suffering some kind of condition, quickly you release the information. Then the next one, the last one, it should be all-inclusive. We should know the kind of diagnosis that he has been declared about him. We should know the kind of medication that he's going to have or he's taking. And then we should know the length of time it's going to take him to heal from the physician's perspective. Now, if these four issues are clear, then we will not have any problem with when he's coming, how the time that is coming, how that is communicated to us. And I think these are the issues that we have to
Right.
deal with.
Now, when you look at other jurisdictions, there's usually a template on what to do. Should there be this kind of template at the presidency on such issues as is best practice in other democracies?
Well, I want to disagree that in other jurisdictions, whether you talk about UK or US, there's no template. In fact, it's even if you look at the history of declaration or disclosure of the health conditions of president, from all the way from 1990 Woodrow Wilson up to Trump, there's no even template to say that this is how it's done. In fact, there is no legal mechanism to force the president to release. The only thing is that the public, through holding them to accountability, will say that release your medical record. Let us see what is happening. Therefore,
so should there be one other presidency?
He or she wants to release.
Should there be one other presidency?
Sorry?
Should there be one other presidency?
We can have a legal mechanism. I will advocate for that. I would say that we need that legal mechanism. But in the absence of that legal mechanism, we, the public, must hold them accountable. Because, one of the reasons why people, they are normally, one of the biggest things that, one of the types of political deception that is perpetuated against journalists and the public is the health conditions of presidents all over the world, every country. There's deception. They don't want to release it because they are afraid that when they release it, it will affect.
We are grateful for your time, Dr. Andy Ofori-Bequan. He is the Dean of Faculty of Foreign Languages and Education at the University of Education, Winneba. To some more this afternoon, government is yet to decide when to lift the ban on small-scale mining activities in the country. A Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources in charge of mines, Barbara Otinjesi, says the expected results for enforcing the ban has still not been achieved.
It's been 10 months since government placed a ban on small-scale mining activities in the country. Initially, the ban was supposed to have lasted for 6 months, but the purpose for which the ban was placed, which is to restore water bodies to its original state and also protect the environment, was not achieved. The ban was extended and was expected to be lifted January 31.
We initiated a project, which is the multi-sectoral mining integrated project, which is a 5-year project, which we believe that effectively implemented will bring and will eradicate the illegalities in our small-scale mining sector. So we have made some progress, but we haven't reached the point where everything is in place for the ban to be lifted. So once the project is launched, hopefully we can make a recommendation to the Interministerial Committee, and then they can recommend to the President for the ban to be lifted.
The Minister explained piloting of reclamation has already been conducted at Chebi in the eastern region, and the same could be replicated for dredging of the water bodies as component in the MMIP. As part of the implementation of the project to achieve the desired objective, district committees against illegal mining would be established in the various districts to monitor the activities of miners.
We are also going to audit all the companies in the small-scale mining sector. And once that is done, and we look at those that have been operating in a proper manner and there are no issues, they'll be allowed to go back to work. Those that there are issues, they'll be given time to rectify those issues, and then they also go back to work.
A number of mining district officers have already received training from the Minerals Commission to enable them carry out their duties effectively in line with the implementation of the MMIP.
And joining us in the studio this afternoon to look at the implications after the ban continues, Emmanuel Yorin-Chentry is the Director of Operations at the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
We're grateful for your time. Now, looking or listening to what the Deputy Minister said, is government justified not to lift the ban on small-scale mining?
Thank you, and good afternoon to your viewers, especially small-scale miners. We believe that the time for the lifting of the ban is due, as government promised.
So you are disagreeing with what the minister said?
We totally disagree.
Why?
For any extension. When you look at the beginning of last year, when the first 6 months ban was imposed. And then getting to the later part, the sector minister also came in and said that they needed additional 3 months. And within this period, we believe that enough has been done for the licensed people to go back and do their legitimate business. When we talk of Vanguard, Vanguard has been launched and they are actively on the ground working. Our task force is also supporting Vanguard to deal with the illegal miners in the field. The district mining committees have been inaugurated. The MMIP, which is the government flagship project that is seeking to sanitize the sector and help develop the sector over a 5-year period, has been accepted and confirmed by Cabinet, and it is due to be launched in February.
In all this, from your estimation, do you feel the ban has been able to curtail activities of illegal miners?
Yeah, you know, I want us and your viewers to be clear about this. We always argue that the ban actually was placed on licensed miners, because you agree with me that illegal mining is already banned. Nobody's allowed to do illegal mining according to our laws.
But it is happening.
It is happening, that's correct. And so when you place a ban on small-scale mining, what you are trying to do is you are placing the ban on licensed operators, because illegality is an illegality, and we just have to treat it as such. And that's what we had believed that, and always argue that that is how we should have looked at the whole situation.
In that regard, what has your association also done to help curtail illegal mining activities within the regions you find yourself?
Yeah, we've done a number of activities before the ban and then after the ban. Before the ban, for instance, we launched our very first task force in 2013 to deal with illegal mining. And that launch was done at University of Mines and Technology. And then after the ban, our task force have been all over the place chasing illegal miners. So far, we've destroyed over 5,000 dredges and arrested over 200 illegal miners. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources even saw this effort and acknowledged it by also supporting our budget with 100,000 Ghana cedis, so that we'll be able to do this illegal mining combating operations. And then apart from that, the association have set up a monitoring team that is going to be responsible for preventing our members
talking
going
about
back
a
to the
monitoring
field.
team, I understand there's a district committee that will be established to oversee the activities of miners. Do you believe that this will get small-scale mining to be done quite properly as expected?
Yeah, we believe that it's part of the solution. You know, the issue of illegal mining and irresponsible mining, it's a very complex issue, and therefore no one institution can handle it alone. It has to be a multi-stakeholder approach, and then we need to collaborate as stakeholders to do this. And I was telling you the pact that the Small Scale Miners Association, we are also going to put in place.
Right.
Yes, that part is what I started talking about, the monitoring team.
Right.
And then also we've entreated our members, as soon as we go back to work, every concession will have a compliance officer who is going to receive some training from the technical committee of the association. And then, and in so doing as well too, we have also asked our members to first erect signboards indicating where their concessions are, and then also demarcating their 4 corner pillars, and then pick Ghana Post Digital address from the center of their concession,
well,
put that thing on their licenses, so that they can
that will
easily
be
be
all time will
identified.
permit for now, but we're wishing you well in your activities as an association. Emmanuel Urenchi is the Director of Operations at the Ghana National Association of Small Scale Miners, joining us in the studio this afternoon. We're grateful for your time, Emmanuel. Let's move on to some more. And the Ghana Health Service is transforming the health sector from manual registers into a paperless digital system. The service, together with partners, has rolled out a tablet-based e-tracker system to strengthen information systems for informed decision-making.
In some rural health facilities, logistics to make easy and good the work of personnel are absent. Computers are now white elephants in the absence of electricity to power them, and papers have become the best data gathering and information storage tool. The Ghana Health Service noted this is the most challenging problem in obtaining accurate patient information. The service is therefore changing the system from manual paper registers to paperless registers, introducing the real-time tablet-based digital registers. The service, together with the USAID, KOICA, Samsung and others, have rolled out a tablet-based e-tracker program to improve the turnaround time in collecting data and also ensure accuracy and all-inclusive information, especially at CHIPS compound.
So that we are completely digitalized and paper. Because if you go to Community Health Nest now, they have about 8 different registers. You fill this, go and fill this, because maternity one is different, IMCI is different, TB one is different. But this one, we feed it in and you just fill the form.
At the launch of the program, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Insiasare, said the program will improve rural health.
These tablets can work offline, and then later on, when you get to a place where you can have connectivity, you can connect it. So those applications will be taken by the community health volunteers and community health workers who will move from house to house, or the community health nurses will send the information from their smartphone to the community health nurse. And the community health nurse will aggregate it and send it to the health information officer at the sub-district. And then the sub-district will then feed it into the DIM system.
Samsung presented 2,590 tablets for implementation of the program.
We believe in using technology to enhance lives. We believe a society's wealth depends on its health. This project, the e-tracker, as it is called, falls directly under our corporate citizenship initiative. And we are happy to partner Good Neighbors Ghana in supporting the digitization of Ghana's district health information system.
USAID, the Korean government through KOICA and Evaluate for Health and Good News, supported the Ghana Health Service to roll out the tablet-based e-tracker system.
Right, so you're watching Midday Live, and stories gone by. We gather from Parliament that there may be 2 reports from the Cash for Seeds Committee. It's yet to be presented. My colleague Catherine Frimpoma will be giving us more updates. And still to come, 90 migrants fear drowned after boats capsizes off Libyan coast. We return with more. This is Midday Live. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Let's do politics now. And former President John Dramani Mahama says the problems currently facing the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, are from the top hierarchy and not the grassroots of the party. Addressing party supporters at Larabanga in the northern region during their weekly branch meeting, the former president observed the NDC has a solid grassroots, but same cannot be said for the top hierarchy. Right, so let's engage Dr. Edward Brenya. He is with the Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology on this subject. Good afternoon to you, Doc, and we are grateful for your time.
Good afternoon.
Now, Doc, considering the fact that some elements have accused John Mahama of causing the party's defeat in 2016, would you say this claim he is making would be genuine and accepted by the party?
Good afternoon to the able listeners of TV3. I think that what the former president said is factual. There is no two way about it. The fact that the bickering and issues with the top hierarchy is a core thing that the NDC has to deal with. But as you rightly said, because of the accusations being leveled against him as trying to use every means possible to find his way back, some within the top hierarchy may not want to hear that, but it's a fact, it's something that the NDC need to hear.
And are we likely to see this claim further deepen the division in the party? What do you make of it, the claim actually?
Some may want to say that even if that is the case, that the president shouldn't have said it at the constituency level or at the grassroots level, that he could have actually taken steps to approach the leadership and have find a way out. But the other way that you also want to look at it is a situation where it looks as if the problem is actually coming from the grassroots. Because every time we hear the leadership of the party talking about reuniting the grassroots, whereas the problem is not with the grassroots. The problem is those that are trying to reunite the grassroots. And I think that even though some may not be happy about it, in the end, they found wisdom in what the former president said and tried to settle their differences.
We are grateful for your time, Dr. Brenya. Dr. Edward Brenya is the political science, he is at the political science department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's do some business now.
The business segment is brought to you by
And in business this afternoon, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has cautioned agencies which have been weaned of government subvention not to increase their salaries by 100%. Now, according to the Commission, any abnormal increase would distort the public sector pay structure and trigger discontent among other government agencies.
The Commission has already weaned off 6 out of the 13 agencies of government subvention. These agencies are the DVLA, NPRA, EPA, Data Protection Agency, Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Gaming Commission. They are expected to raise their own revenue to improve their balance sheets to keep the management of institution running. Before agencies are weaned off, the Commission says management of those agencies present a proposal. The proposal is properly interrogated by a committee made up of organized labor, civil society groups, and the Ministry of Finance. After a thorough investigations of their balance sheet for a 3-year period, the committee also considers the agency's future potentials for growth. But the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission said it has gathered some agencies have indicated willingness to increase their salaries abnormally. The Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Edward Kwapong, has warned those agencies against that.
We didn't let them go way above that. 100% in 1 year, and in another year they will come back if they have conditions of service or collective agreement to renegotiate wage opener. Then they will be going on and on and on. They will be leaving the rest of us, and that will not be good for salary administration in the country.
He explained agencies which have been weaned would not be totally off government subvention.
In one particular instance, they expected to pay back 35% of their total revenue to government. In another case, I think 60%. So it depends on the volumes and what government thinks they can survive on, having creamed off a portion into the consolidated fund.
Dr. Kwapon said winning them of government subvention is to control the wage bill.
We are told that over 50-60% of the total revenue goes into payment of public servants. And so then we are left with very little for national development and for payment of statutory debts. And therefore, if you have a means of ensuring that you will make some institutions, public sector institutions, more efficient and more productive and more profitable, why not? Then, government is released of that burden of paying so many people.
And more this afternoon, Ghana, Togo, and 21 other African countries are pushing for the implementation of the Yamoussoukro Agreement for a single continental airline. Now, Aviation Minister Cecilia Dapa disclosed this when the Namibian High Commissioner to Ghana, Charles Joseph, called on her to announce the return of Air Namibia to Ghana.
Part of the reason for Africa's underserved status is that many African countries restrict their air services markets to protect the share held by state-owned air carriers. African ministers responsible for civil aviation in 1999 adopted the Yamoussoukro decision for an open skies for Africa. It commits its 44 signatory countries to deregulate air services and promote regional air markets open to transnational competition. The decision was endorsed by heads of state and governments at the Organization of African Unity in 2000 and became fully binding in 2002. That notwithstanding, implementation has fallen short, according to the lead air transport specialist at the World Bank and author of Open Skies for Africa report. Full liberalization of intra-African air transport services in terms of access, capacity, frequency and tariffs, the report suggested, would open up the continent and its diverse tourism sites. And this is what the renewed effort being championed by Togo seeks to achieve.
We are a signatory to the Yamoussoukro decision, and it's 23 countries. Ghana is proudly one of them. And our president has always talked about connectivity within Africa, and this is what is going to solve that problem.
The minister also welcomed the reintroduction of Air Namibia into the Ghanaian airspace.
It's all in pursuit of our vision of making Kotoka International Airport the hub for aviation in the ECOWAS region. And now we are being sought after like a good bride. And Air Namibia is coming back.
But had the challenges that led to the withdrawal of the Air Namibia from Ghana been addressed yet?
I came here January 2015 to set up a resident mission. So we have now dealt with the visa issues. It is quite easy to get a Namibian visa. The issue still is the promotional issues of Ghanaians knowing about Namibia and Namibians knowing about Ghana.
The direct route will be Windhoek, Lagos, Accra, effective March 24, 4 times a week. Apart from providing direct connection from Namibia to West Africa, the operation will further transport passengers and cargo on the Lagos-Accra route.
And it's few more days to start the Ghana Premier League. He will join us shortly with the detail, Fierinyan, after this break. This is Midday Live. To some international news now, and the UN's Migration Agency says 90 migrants are feared drowned after a boat capsized off the Libyan coast. 3 survivors said most of those who were drowned were Pakistani nationals. Libya has for years been a major transit route for migrants trying to reach southern Europe by sea. But last year, the EU reached a controversial deal to provide help to the Libyan Coast Guard to stop the flow of boats carrying migrants and refugees to Italy. To South Africa, where all 955 workers from the gold mine in that country have been safely brought back to the surface. They had been trapped underground since a power cut struck on Wednesday night. South Africa is a leading gold producer, but safety in the industry is often questioned. Now, the Beatrix mine is in Welcome Town, about 290 kilometers southwest of Johannesburg. It is owned by Sibanye Stillwater mining firm. It has 23 levels going down to 1,000 meters below the ground. And 68-year-old son of Cuba's former leader Fidel Castro has killed himself in Havana, according to Cuban state media. Fidel Angel Castro Diaz-Balart was found on Thursday morning and is said to have suffered from depression. The firstborn son of the late president was nicknamed Fidelito, or Little Fidel, because of the family's resemblance. Now, he was a nuclear physicist trained by the former Soviet Union. And that's it for the international front. To some entertainment now. And the countdown to the Maiden 3 Music Awards is on. The question, however, is which group will win the Fun Army of the Year category? Well, Osu Arai was at Ashaiman, the headquarters of the BIM Nation, to interact with the BIM natives.
to Ashaman, and this happens to be the headquarters of the Beam Nation. And we are told this very road leads to Stonebwoy's home. So we'll be talking to a few of the Beam natives to find out whether they feel they can win this year's Fan Army category. Beam!
Beam to the world. Beam to the world.
Are you winning it?
Oh, it's obvious. Very, very obvious. Yeah. The whole of Ghana knows Beam Nation is on top of issues. Yes, when it comes to good music, it's Beam Nation. Yes. And you know that. Everybody knows it. It's the whole world. Everybody knows Beam Nation. It's not only about Ghana. We are out there. We don't know why we should rest. We are taking this. And they know it.
Fake hype. We are talking about the real tonight. The whole world, our album is number 2. Yes. World regular. Yes. Which Ghanaian? Which Ghanaian?
So what
no fake hype. Real thing we are talking about.
Watch nobody. Yeah, that's Beam. You should think fast. You don't watch nobody. This competition, we are winning it once down. We are not going anywhere. We are winning it once and for all.
Long time and a raga. When William called 50,000 men gather.
Them must have to tell me I will send them. I will send them. Father God, I go fish them out and we are going to hang them.
Yeah, we vote for Beam Nation.
We are making it.
Yeah, we tell the we should all be ready for it because it's coming to Ashama. We're just waiting for it and it's coming for life.
Boy. What's up with Beam Nation? Do you think you can win this very award?
Oh, we can win this award because the fan base in Ashama, it's more than enough for us to win the award.
Stonebwoy is a very big guy, pass them all.
It is clear for Stonebwoy to take it, you know, you understand? Yeah, very clear. Even though we know Shatta is tough, but Stonebwoy is the toughest. Yeah. You understand? Beam to the world again! Beam to the world! Beam to Simon! Beam to Simon!
If I die today, I'm a hero. I'm a hero. If I die today, I'm a hero. I'm a hero.
Well, interesting views there from the Beam natives, but that's how we wrap up on midday this afternoon. You can follow updates on happenings in Parliament on our website is 3news.com, as well as more news updates. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Enjoy your lunch and have a good afternoon.